All right. Good afternoon. It is currently June 16th, 5:16 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We have several severe thunderstorm warnings here across Indiana currently, and a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for a good majority of us as well. All of these severe thunderstorm warnings are currently baseline severe thunderstorm warnings, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. The warning down in here for northern Vermilion County up to Attica, Indiana, along I-74 is for hail up to half-dollar size, which is a buck 25. That's for the cell near the Danville and Georgetown, Illinois area. So a few larger hailstones possible in there. That's going to be coming across Indiana-Illinois state line towards Covington, Indiana, and Perrysville, Indiana. So if you're in northern Vermilion County, heads up, could have some larger hailstones coming down, perhaps larger than quarter size, up to a buck 25 within this severe thunderstorm warning here. Coming up here to the north, we have scattered showers and thunderstorms around the Lafayette area, Monticello, Logansport, all under severe thunderstorm warnings right now for hail up to quarter size, as well as a few microbursts or downbursts up to 60 miles per hour currently as these storms develop here along an advancing cold front across Indiana. The risk for scattered severe thunderstorms will continue here this evening as the cold front moves across Indiana with another round, likely potentially a little bit more substantial tomorrow afternoon. More details on that to follow. But right now, good news is I don't see any real rotation within any of these storms. Can't rule out a brief tornado spin up here today. But the primary hazard with these storms are going to be hail up to quarter size, perhaps a little bit larger, maybe a buck 50 to a buck 25, depending on the updraft. But they're going to be more short-lived for the hail risk today. Damaging winds, as well as a brief spin-up tornado, because it's kind of a low-end all hazards risk today, but the primary hazard going to be damaging winds and hail this afternoon. These storms are scattered right now, but we do expect a few of these storms to kind of grow upscale into kind of a broken line of showers and thunderstorms here as we go throughout the evening. We'll go ahead and cover these warnings here. We'll go north to south. Up here near the Winnemac, Wolcott, Monticello area, we have a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. That's for this cell near Monone right now, coming near Francisville and Buffalo, State Road 39 and US 421. Over here to the east near Royal Center, Logansport area, as well as Deer Creek, we have kind of a cluster of storms, but we have two different storms that are currently under a severe thunderstorm warning. The southern storm just northeast of Delphi under a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. And the storm up here near Royal Center, as well as outside Monticello, under a severe thunderstorm warning as well for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. Some stronger winds in the southern cell near the Delphi and Flora area could have a heavy downburst in there, as well as quarter-size hail. These storms are moving east-northeast at roughly 35-40 miles per hour. These storms are not moving overly fast here today. Looking towards the Lafayette area, the severe thunderstorm warning is for a buck 50. This is close to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. If it gets to a buck 75, they'll go considerable with it. But this is for ping pong ball size hail, as well as winds up to 60 miles per hour. So these storms are more on the line of hail producers today versus tornado, and we do think that risk will carry on eastward through the evening today. Can't rule out a brief tornado, but the primary risks today are going to be damaging winds and large hail. We have a couple different storms warned for pretty large hailstones. The southern one here near the Danville and Georgetown area is warned for, it's now actually been observed. We have ping pong ball size hail observed now just to the south of Danville, is coming into the Perryville area and Covington area. This warning here is still for a buck 25, which is just shy of ping pong ball size hail, but we have an observed tag now for Illinois for ping pong ball size hail observed. And let's see if we can get a source on that. Radar indicated for our source there. So ping pong ball size hail, as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. That'll be coming into northern Vermilion County over the next few minutes here. In fact, we'll go ahead and use the right side of our radar here to look at our updrafts associated with this. So this is kind of a tool that we use. It's not showing rotation, but it's showing how strong our updrafts are. The brighter the colors on the left side of your screen, whenever you see oranges, reds, and purples, that's when we're getting into a strong enough updraft to support severe criteria hail. And that's something we're going to be talking about here today. So the first one that has a pretty noticeable updraft is near the Logansport area. You can actually see these deep purples, even a little bit of black on reflectivity. That's very heavy precipitation falling, and that's where the hail core is associated with this thunderstorm. That's going to move near Logansport, Indiana. Could have some quarter-size hail, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground. That updraft has shown some intensification here over the last couple of scans. In fact, if we back it up here, well, the right side isn't loading, but the left side is, so we'll let that load in here just a little bit. Near the Oxford area, likely getting some hail, maybe up to quarter-size hail, if not $1.50. It's actually warned for ping pong ball size hail right now, so you could have some ping pong ball size hail coming into the Oxford area, and observed ping pong ball size hail near the Danville area. In fact, if I get my draw tool on here, we'll go ahead and draw it here for you. Right in here is where the largest hailstones were observed, and a little bit lagging behind on the updrafts. That scan does not update as quickly as what our reflectivity does. So it does lag behind just a little bit, but that hail core likely right in here, just on the east side of Westville, coming near the Indiana state line, going to come into northern Vermilion County, north of Cayuga, near Perrysville, Indiana, State Road 63 and 32. So if you're in the Veedersburg area, Kingman area, heads up, could have some hailstones coming your way. Now's probably a good time to get your vehicle under a carport or in a garage if you have one. Ping pong ball size hail is large enough to cause some dents and cause some damage as well. A very nice core coming into the Logansport area, State Road 25. These storms are also moving east-northeast at about 35 miles per hour across the board today. Not overly fast, but the primary hazards are going to be hail, potentially up to ping pong ball size hail, as well as winds up to 60 miles per hour. There is kind of a low-end tornado risk. Can't rule out a brief spin-up tornado today, but the primary hazards, damaging winds, and hail. Potentially up to ping pong ball size hail. Go ahead and switch radars here currently. So our strongest storms, we have 3 updrafts of concern right now. One near the Delphi, Indiana area, just northeast of Delphi, coming into the Logansport area. Could have hail. Likely, I would not be surprised to see this warning get upgraded a little bit. It's warned for quarters right now. Radar suggests we may have a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground. Think $1.25, maybe even approaching ping pong ball size hail. So if you're in the Logansport area, State Road 25, wouldn't be surprised to see an upgrade on that to a little bit larger than quarter size, maybe perhaps $1.25. But either way, plan on some hailstones, quarter size or perhaps a little bit larger. This our southern cell here near Danville, Indiana, has a history of producing ping pong ball size hail. Notice it has an observed tag on it. This will be coming into northern Vermilion County near the Perrysville, Indiana area, along State Road 32, as well as State Road 63. So if you're in Perrysville, Indiana, be on the lookout for some large hailstones, quarter size up to ping pong ball size hail. Currently, the greatest risk for severe weather is going to be in western Indiana, west central Indiana, and north central Indiana. These storms are expected to move east as the day goes on, as the evening goes on. These storms are associated with a cold front. Not a super strong cold front, but enough of a boundary to spark showers and thunderstorms across the state today. And these will move off to the east. So we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Cass County in effect until 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And these storms are going to be moving east at 35 miles per hour. Currently focused on the Logansport cell here. This cell is going to be moving into a relatively populated area here, potentially on near Logansport or on the south side of Logansport. That's where our new severe thunderstorm warning just got issued for, and that's for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of your building. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. Hail damage to vehicles is expected. This storm is moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. So some slow movers here today, but also with these slow moving storms, watch out for some flash flooding or some ponding. Heavy rainfall rates in excess of 1.5 inches per hour are falling within these storms. So some torrential rainfall occurring here as well. So do watch out for any ponding or hydrologic concerns that we may have. We do have some storm hunters out in the field here today. They are currently getting into position for these storms. As they are out in position, we will get them pulled up the best we can. In the top left of your screen, we have Cody. He's currently one of our storm hunters. He is currently out in the field here today. He is in west central Indiana. You can see some towering cumulus cloud there and even a thunderstorm there on the bottom right of his screen. You can see the darkening skies there and even a couple rain shafts coming down. So he's going to be out here with us here today as we watch these storms moving into Indiana. Severe thunderstorm warning for a $125. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect here until 5:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Severe thunderstorm is located over Oakland, or 8 miles southwest of Danville. And this is for western Warren County and northwestern Indiana, Fountain County, and Vermilion County, northern Vermilion County, and west central Indiana. Hail size up to 1.25 inches, so a little bit larger than quarter size, a little bit smaller than ping pong ball size hail. We had some ping pong ball size hail observed just to the west of Indiana, near the Georgetown and Danville areas in central Illinois, east central Illinois. So we'll have to watch that as it moves into northern Vermilion County. The hail core of that cell is going to be moving right into Perrysville, Indiana. So a nice hail core coming into the Perrysville area. Could have quarter size hail, if up to a $125, moving into Perrysville, Indiana, northern Vermilion County. Moving up here to the north central Indiana, Monticello, Logansport area. New severe thunderstorm warning coming in for Tippecanoe and Warren counties. We'll see that pop up. Hazard 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter size hail until 6:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And there you can see that warning just popped up here. And that does include just areas just to the north of the Lafayette area for the storm near Otterbein. And that storm is moving off to the east at 30 miles per hour. Really nice hail core just to the southwest of Logansport, running right along State Road 25. I personally would not be surprised to see a few larger hailstones mixing their way down to the ground. In fact, I'm going to look at our CC, not for debris, but for hail. Maybe a little bit of what we call a spatter spike, and that is actually, so correlation coefficient is actually really good for showing debris for tornadoes, but it can also show us where our hail is currently falling within the core of these storms as well. And I don't have Super Res CC for some reason on this. I'm not sure what is going on there. Also, some gusty winds occurring within the core of the storm as well, coming right into Logansport along and south of State Road 25. Could have some hail. It's warned for quarters, but I would not be surprised to see a few larger hailstones mixing their way down to the ground along and south of State Road 25. This will be coming into the Logansport, Indiana area. Turning back on our VIL, our updraft tracker here, you can see the pinks there, very strong updraft near the Camden area, moving east-northeast at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So if you're in Logansport, Indiana, watch out for some decent hailstones associated with that. Our other storm near Otterbein right now, just east of the Oxford area, warned for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So expect some hail there coming into Otterbein right about now. See some questions in here saying, didn't know we were going to have storms today. I thought the severe weather risk was tomorrow. Yeah, the bigger severe weather risk is potentially tomorrow. We have a very volatile environment, still some uncertainty as to how morning storms will play a role in our afternoon storms tomorrow. where that warm front will set up. We think areas along and south of that warm front will have the greatest potential for severe weather tomorrow. So a few things to look at and to watch trends and monitor ahead of tomorrow. But if you do live in Indiana tomorrow, especially central Indiana and northern Indiana, remain weather aware. Now's a good time to go over your severe weather safety plans ahead of tomorrow. But there are still a few uncertainties that we're going to have to take a look at here tomorrow. But we do have a severe weather risk today. That was forecasted here on our pages here today, saying we do have a risk for scattered severe, strong to severe thunderstorms. Hail and damaging winds are the primary risk here today, followed by a possible brief spin-up tornado. But for right now, I don't see any rotation within these storms. These are primarily going to be hail and gusty wind producers here across the state of Indiana. These storms will track east. So if you're in Howard County, Kokomo, Indiana, in the Fort Wayne area, we do expect these scattered storms to move into your vicinity here this afternoon as the cold front advances east. We do have a couple weather cameras here across the state of Indiana. I'll try to get them pulled up here for you. Here's a live look at our Vermilion camera in Vermilion County. Here's a live look at that severe thunderstorm right now. This is actually crossing the Indiana-Illinois line. This is looking north here. You can see dark, ominous skies there coming over the highway. This is the live view of that storm coming into Vermilion County, courtesy of Vermilion County Emergency Management for hosting our live camera here today. You can see really dark, ominous skies, likely some hail falling within the hail core here of this storm. Maybe a little bit of a shelf cloud there on the back side of your screen as well. Try to zoom in to get a better look at it here. Kind of right in there. Maybe a little bit of a shelf cloud or maybe even a brief little bit of a wall cloud there developing coming into Vermilion County. Not a significant amount of rotation on radar, but something to keep an eye on there. Kind of a low cloud there. This is on the Indiana-Illinois border there. Something to keep an eye on. We also have other weather cameras throughout the state of Indiana. We have Jasper County, courtesy of Jasper County REMC. This is in Rensselaer, Indiana. Not a lot going up there. We also have Fort Wayne, as well as Mishawaka. Indiana, and we'll keep these cameras going all day, and we'll continue to pull them up as needed here today. Back on radar here, we also want to keep an eye on these storms. Our severe thunderstorm warning was trimmed just north of Monticello. Still warned for quarter and 60 mile per hour. The good news is that northern cell has weakened quite a bit. Our cell here coming into Logansport. If anybody's in the Deer Creek area, heads up. Could have some quarter-size hail. Quarter-size hail is likely with this storm, and I would not be surprised to see a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground, perhaps. Waiting to see a few reports coming in today for that. I'll try to I'll toggle on some storm reports here. That way I can see them come in as they populate in real time as they are submitted. Looking back south here. Hail core coming into Perrysville right about now. We're going to be seeing some hail, potentially up to an inch and a quarter, so a little bit larger than quarter size coming into Perryville right now. We're going to have to keep an eye on this storm as it moves into northern Vermilion County right about now. Also a strong thunderstorm near the Otterbein area northwest of Lafayette. This is going to be coming near Battleground, Indiana. Quarter-size hail, 60 mile per hour winds. These storms are moving roughly east-northeast at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. They're not moving overly fast here today. One of the stronger storms right now is in northern Vermilion County, as well as coming in to the Logansport area. This severe thunderstorm is in effect for central Cass County until 6 p.m. At 5:25, a severe thunderstorm was located 9 miles northeast of Delphi, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. Hail damage to vehicles is likely. Expect wind damage to roof siding and trees. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor of your building. Likely going to have some hail coming into the Logansport area up to quarter size, if not maybe a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground. Our next strongest storm just northwest of Lafayette near Otterbein. Quarter size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds for that one. And back down here to the south near Perrysville, Indiana, northern Vermilion County. Quarter size hail and a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground. The warning is for $1.25, so could have a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground. If you guys have any severe weather reports from today, do let us know. Do let us know what you're seeing out there. If you can do so safely, I'd love to know, especially for hail reports. Hail reports are going to be really important today. If you're able to report those after the storm has passed your location, it is safe to do so. If you're in Northwest Indiana, your severe weather risk is lower today. The cold front is moving through right now. If I go back to one screen, let me do this here, and we can draw out the cold front today. So right now, the cold front is draped right about here, right where that blue line is, and that is going to be moving east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour today, associated with these lines of storms. As it moves east, these storms here are going to be moving east towards the Wells County, Fort Wayne area, Indianapolis, Howard County, Kokomo, and they'll be moving east as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. They could grow upscale a little bit and form kind of a messy line, or they could also remain scattered. We'll just have to see how they move east. I do expect them to grow upscale a little bit, kind of into a messy line of scattered showers and storms as they move towards the Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I-69 corridor later today. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But the primary hazards here are going to be hail and damaging winds, but we cannot rule out a brief spin-up tornado. The good news is I don't see a lot of rotation here within these storms. There's some broad rotation aloft, but the good news is I don't see a lot of rotation near the ground, which is some good news. These storms are primarily going to be hail and wind producers here today. There's been a couple reports of a couple wall clouds across the state of Indiana, but the good news is they're not rotating very quickly. They're very broad in nature and don't really concern me too much for an immediate tornado risk at this point in time. The primary risk is going to focus primarily on hail and winds here today across Indiana. Right now, these storms have been mainly producing hail between quarter size and ping pong ball size hail. I had a couple of reports in Illinois near the Georgetown area. We had a radar confirmed warning there for ping pong ball size hail just a few moments ago. Going back to dual screen here, and we'll go ahead and turn back on our updraft tracker here just to see what our updrafts are doing. Lafayette storm a little bit. You can see how it was stronger back near Oxford, Indiana, where you see the pinks on the right side of your screen. But you can see how it's gone a little bit more yellow as it goes near the Lafayette area. So a little bit weaker of an updraft here, but could have some small hail, perhaps up to quarter size. But I think we're going to see between pea size and nickel size hail with that right now. There could be a quarter or two mixing their way down. We do have quite a bit of cold air aloft today to work with, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Logansport, Indiana, strong storm just going south of downtown, going to come near the Anoka area and Walton, Indiana, just north of Deer Creek. Hail up to quarter size with that, likely crossing State Road 29 right now, or just cross 29, coming into the Anoka area here over the next couple of minutes. Likely going to see some quarter size hail. You can see right where you see the black on reflectivity here, torrential rainfall is occurring, but this is where your hail core would be associated with this thunderstorm. Torrential rainfall and hail up to quarter size, and I still would not be surprised to see a few larger stones perhaps mixing their way down to the ground. If you guys have any hail reports here today, please let us know. We'd be very appreciative of that. As ground observation is always key for these events, knowing what radar says and then seeing what the storm is actually producing as well. New severe thunderstorm warning downstream for Cass and Miami counties. That would include the Peru area and Bunker Hill, now under a severe thunderstorm warning for quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. And this goes until 6:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Storms are still moving east at 35 miles per hour, so slow movers here today. Do watch out for that hydrologic risk here today. Heavy rainfall is likely today in these storms. Torrential rainfall rates in excess of 1.5 inches per hour, not out of the question in the cores of these storms, so do watch out for ponding. Give a few extra minutes for the street drains to catch back up. If you're driving or going around with these storms here today, could have some very heavy rainfall associated with them as they are slow movers on top of the hail risk today. We do have just enough shear parameters today where this cell is kind of taking on more of a supercell look, but this storm does not concern me for a tornado at this point in time, despite having some broad rotation aloft. What that broad rotation will do is it'll allow it to keep producing some hail as it moves off to the east towards Miami County. So not all supercells go on to produce tornadoes. Broadly rotating supercells can be really good at producing hail, damaging winds, for longer periods of time because they have that tilted updraft. So that is something to keep in mind as well. Can't rule out a brief spin-up tornado today or land spout, but the primary hazards here today are going to be hail and damaging winds. These storms are moving off to the east at about 35 miles per hour, between 25 and 35. They're not moving very fast here today. And the strongest storm currently in Indiana is near Logansport, Indiana. This one here is kind of taken over as being the strongest storm here in Indiana. Right where you see all the blacks on your radar, that is a very heavy rainfall, but also likely a bit of a hail core associated with that. So we are going to, so we also have, we have a couple other chasers out here in the field with us today as well. I'm going to try to get their cameras pulled up as well. You can see Steven. Steven is out in the field currently here today. He is currently located in Peru, Indiana, in Miami County. So this storm that's currently warned and intensifying a little bit in hail size and intensity is heading right in his direction. So likely going to have some quarter-size hail heading in his direction. Wouldn't be surprised if a few larger hailstones mixing their way down, coming near the Walton area just south of Anoka, getting ready to cross US 35. A really solid core on this storm, and there is some broad rotation associated with it as well. It does not scream tornadic at this point in time, but it leads me to believe that this storm is going to continue producing hail into Miami County towards the Peru, Indiana area. So we will watch his screen here. So we'll continue to keep an eye on Steven here as this storm, he's currently in Miami County. The storm is moving directly towards him. Bear with me here. I'm just updating a couple radar softwares here behind the scenes here real quick. So we'll leave Steven up here. All right, let me... And there we go. We'll come back here for right now. So here's a live look at radar here. So Steven is currently in the Peru, Indiana area. And you can see a really intense core on this storm right in here, right where you see the blacks on your radar coming into the Walton, Indiana area. Likely going to see some hail of at least quarter size. I would not be surprised to see a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground. This is going to come very close to the Bunker Hill, Indiana area. But this is also a supercell as well. There's some broad rotation just to the north of Deer Creek here. Nothing that really screams an imminent tornado at this point in time, but it is something we're going to have to watch as it heads towards the Walton, Indiana area. This is starting to definitely has the characteristics of a supercell. You can see the reds and greens lightly holding hands a little bit. Again, it's broad. It's nothing that really screams tornadic at this point in time. We do have our chasers out there watching this storm, so if it does anything, we'll let you know. But we'll have to keep an eye on that. Broadly rotating storms also allow storms to go on and producing hazards for a longer period of time. In this case, hails. Likely going to see that hail threat continue towards the Bunker Hill area into central and southern Miami County. I'm working on getting a couple other chasers here pulled up behind the screens, so bear with me here on that. All right. So we'll zoom back out here and take a little bit of a look. I apologize for the delay there a little bit, just trying to get some things configured here behind the scenes. Currently in northern Vermilion County, severe thunderstorm has been downgraded to quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. It has weakened quite a bit over the last several scans here. In fact, if we back up radar, it was a lot more intense in Illinois near Danville than what it is now. And there we go, considerable severe thunderstorm warning for Miami County. We were just talking about how that could be upgraded if that storm continued to intensify. And there we go. So considerable severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-per-hour winds associated with this storm. So it has not been upgraded for hail, but it's been upgraded for wind. Wind up to 70 miles per hour going to come into the Walton, Indiana area. So we'll go ahead and read this here. So the National Weather Service in northern Indiana has issued this warning. At 5:48 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located near Walton or near Logansport, moving east at 30 miles per hour. A rotating wall cloud has been reported by emergency management. We were just talking about that broad area of rotation. Hazard 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Hail damage to vehicles is expected. Expect considerable tree damage. Wind damage is also likely to mobile homes, roofs, and outbuildings. And this is for Miami County, Indiana. And there's that report of a broadly rotating wall cloud there. In fact, if we back up just a little bit, you can see some rotation there associated with this, some broad rotation. Nothing extremely significant at this point in time, but there is some broad rotation there. Steven is currently live on this storm. We'll go ahead and take him full again to see what he is looking at. So it looks like Steven is repositioning here, currently still in Peru, Indiana. Looks like he is heading south. We do have a tornado warning now. This is for Miami
issued.
County. Rotation has increased quite a bit. We have a tornado warning, so we're going to go ahead and take radar back. Let me get radar pulled back up here. Here we go. So we're going to go ahead and get radar pulled back up here. So we have, this is now a tornado warning, radar indicated tornado warning. This is for Miami County, Indiana, as well as southeastern Cass County and central Indiana. This is radar indicated rotation. I need my mouse back. Thank you. You can see an area of rotation just to the west of Walton, Indiana. This is a rain-wrapped area of rotation. You're not going to see, it's going to be very difficult to spot a tornado. You need to be in interior level of your home, away from windows, until this storm has passed. This area of rotation is going to be near Walton, moving east at about 30 miles per hour, moving very close, coming across US 31. This is going to remain north of Galveston, and this is going to move into central Miami County. You can see a nice couplet right in here. Give you a cross section here. Area of rotation is near 800 South and South County Road 125 East, just to the west-southwest of Walton. And we'll go ahead and turn on our debris tracker to see if we see anything. I don't see any kind of debris signature at the moment, which is some good news. The darker colors that you see just outside of Walton, likely some hail showing up here as well. Stephen is live on this storm as he is trying to get south ahead of it here, and my radar went off the screen. I apologize about that. I was talking and I didn't realize it was off. Let me get it pulled back up here for you. Have a couple guys working here behind the scenes getting a few things set up here, so I apologize about that. Here we go. I apologize about that. Good news is I don't see anything on our debris tracker yet. Going back on here to relative velocity, area of rotation just to the south of State Road 218. This is near Walton, Indiana, and southeastern Cass County. This is a rain-wrapped area of rotation, and this is going to be near Walton here in about 5 minutes or less, crossing US 35, and it's going to track east along State Road 218 towards Bunker Hill. This is for southeastern Cass County as well as central and southern Miami County until 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Until 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Area of rotation is actually on the southern end of this warning box. Is actually where the area of rotation seems to be at this point in time, a little bit just south. Tightest area of rotation riding the warning box line here. It's actually near 800 South and County Road 900 South, just to the east of 300 East. So about 3 miles east of Walton. Walton likely getting some very large hail right now, just on the north side of town or in town. Very nice, healthy core associated with the storm as well. Likely some strong winds, but also some large hail. Would not be surprised to see a few larger hail reports coming in, perhaps greater than quarter-size hail. A very solid updraft here in southeastern Cass County. This is going to move into central and southern Miami County, Indiana. A very nice storm, producing some very large hail as well as damaging winds and a possible tornado. This is radar indicated rotation. Area of rotation is just to the southwest of Walton, Indiana, and this is moving along and south of State Road 218, Indiana. This is radar indicated rotation. Currently, I do not see anything on our debris tracker at the moment, which is good. I do see some hail on our debris tracker. Our debris tracker can also pick up hail cores when they're intense enough as well. Going back, looking at our rotation, Not quite as strong. Whoa. Not quite as strong as what we saw a few moments ago, but still there nonetheless. You can see how it was a little bit um, stronger right in here. Right here, this was at 5:50 p.m. You can see that area of rotation just to the south of 218 near Walton. If we fast forward that, it did broaden out just a little bit as of 5:55 p.m. So a little bit stronger right in here, just out about a mile and a half south of 218, southwest of Walton, just a southeastern Cass County, north of Galveston. And the recent scan does have that broadening out just a little bit. But something I'm noticing, though, the hail core is intensifying on this storm. I would not be surprised to see some large hailstones in this, larger than quarter size hail. If you're in Walton, Indiana, Bunker Hill, onward, Indiana is about to get hit with some pretty good size hail. I would not be surprised to see hail. This is warned for quarter size hail. I would not be surprised to see some ping pong ball size hail within this storm. Just as a heads up, if you're in onward, Indiana, coming into Miami County, would not be surprised to see a few larger hailstones mixing their way down to the ground. The good news is area of rotation has weakened a little bit, which is some good news there. But still some broad rotation within the storm. More of a hail threat and damaging wind risk right now. But we're going to have to watch that area broad rotation closely, as we do have a radar indicated tornado warning still in effect until 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for about 30 more minutes here. Does include Bunker Hill in Miami County. Peru local, currently not under a tornado warning. It's for areas Peru and south under a radar indicated tornado warning. Area broad rotation near the Walton area, moving east at about 30 miles per hour. Currently, Kokomo currently in the clear right now. Back down to the south, near the Kingman area, warned for 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-sized hail. If you're north of Lafayette, also getting quarter-sized hail and 60 mile per hour winds. We're going to stay on the Cass County and Miami County cell, as that is the strongest storm currently in Indiana. Tornado warning just got trimmed back, but remains in effect here. This storm is currently moving east at about 30 miles per hour, broad rotation near the Walton, Indiana area. Switching back radars here. You can see also some gusty winds associated with this storm. Considerable severe thunderstorm warning in effect for 15 more minutes for winds perhaps up to 70 miles per hour. That is more than enough for blowing down some trees, causing some shingle damage, and damaging RVs and mobile homes as well. If you're in southeastern Cass County, central and southern Miami County, heads up as you have a very strong thunderstorm impacting your location. Steven is currently live on this storm, and we're going to go ahead and take Steven full here. He's probably going to be getting a view on this here pretty soon. You can see the base of the storm there, maybe even a little bit of a wall cloud there. We'll go ahead and take him full once I find his name here. So there's a live look at a wall cloud, perhaps. I'm going to ask him here behind the scenes his location here, because I don't think it's updating on the page there.
A new
All right, sorry about that. I was
severe
talking with our
thunderstorm
chaser
warning
here
has
behind the
been
scenes.
issued.
He's currently located in Peru, Indiana, and has this hail core is moving towards his location. So that is not a wall cloud on your screen, just a lower base there. He's currently north of the area of rotation there. We'll go ahead and take radar back here. We'll go ahead and take my screen back here. Broad rotation near Walton, Indiana continues, and this storm is now moving east. Still moving east at about 35 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour for Miami County. Considerable severe thunderstorm warning, winds for 70 miles per hour associated with this. So a very intense core moving into Miami County. And I still would not be surprised to see a few larger hailstones mixing their way down to the ground. So a little bit of broad rotation over Walton, but damaging winds and hail are going to be the primary hazards here moving into Miami County. We'll have to keep an eye on that broad area of rotation to make sure it doesn't tighten up. For right now, hail and damaging winds look to be the primary hazard there. Also have a couple other storms around the vicinity here. Have a nice thunderstorm near Winamac, Indiana, and a little shower outside of Rochester, Indiana. Currently sub-severe at this point in time. Going back here across the region, our severe thunderstorm warning is, we'll have to see if we get an additional severe thunderstorm warning for the Florida area. Currently right now, quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. This storm here, just north of Lafayette, has weakened over the last several scans, which is some good news. Coming back down in here near the Kingman area, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds as a baseline severe thunderstorm warning. So we are going to stay up here in Cass County and Miami County for a tornado warning and also a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Winds up to 70 miles per hour, as well as a possible tornado and quarter-size hail. Still would not be surprised to see a few stones larger than quarter mixing their way down to the ground. There is some melting aloft here today, but we have a really healthy core and some really strong winds just south of the Onward area, right into the core of this storm. This is going to come near Bunker Hill here in the next couple of minutes. So an area of strong winds just crossing County Road 900 east and 700 south. You're going to come near a residential area, impacting you guys right now with hail and wind just southeast of Onward, southwest of 218. Looks like Constellation Street and 700 south perhaps getting hit on some very intense winds, but also some hail. Area of broad rotation sitting back in here near the Walton, Indiana area. Looks like, though, the area of rotation has broadened out, though. Going back here, this is 5:50 Indiana, or 5:50 p.m., so about roughly 10 minutes ago. It was a lot stronger near Walton. If we fast forward that, you can see that rotation has broadened out a little bit and really starting to see kind of a bow echo starting to form here with this storm. So it could be transitioning into more of a straight line wind risk with this. We have a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for winds up to 70 miles per hour. And this includes Peru, Indiana, with the strongest winds going to be near Bunker Hill, Indiana, crossing US 31 and State Road 218, running right along State Road 218. And this will be coming into perhaps Wabash County if it holds together. Southwestern Wabash County, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Our severe thunderstorm warning for Lafayette, Indiana, and areas north has been allowed to be canceled. That severe thunderstorm has weakened below severe criteria, so that is some good news there. Coming back down here to the south near Kingman, could have some quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. And we are below considerable criteria down there, but still severe criteria with quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Coming back up here to the north, Stephen is getting hit with some small hailstones. We'll go ahead and get him pulled back up here. He says hail is starting in the Peru, Indiana area. He's on the north side of this storm, on the northern side of the hail core here. So here's a live look at Stephen's screen there. You can see some heavy rainfall, but also some small hailstones there. Impacting his screen there. Diamond Nichols currently getting diamond nickel size hail. That'll be impacting his location. Looks like they trimmed back our tornado warning there. And we'll go ahead and take a radar back here, as we do have this storm continuing. The worst of it now is in Miami County. This is going to be impacting areas near the Bunker Hill area right now and areas south of Peru. There is some rotation up here just northwest of Bunker Hill, kind of a bookend feature here on the north side of 218. Area of rotation just to the southwest of Peru. Radar indicated tornado warning does continue, and you can see a little bit of greens and reds starting to hold hands a little bit more near the onward area. A little bit of a hook echo on the northwest side of town. There's the latest scan. Strong winds, but also some broad area of rotation just to the southwest of Peru. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Tornado warning continues for 22 more minutes. This is radar indicated, but we also have a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for winds up to 70 miles per hour, as well as quarter-size hail. Stephen was getting some hail in the Peru, Indiana area. That area has started there. Have some chaser chatter here behind the scenes. They're currently watching the storm here as well in Miami County. You can see Stephen there in the top right of your screen. Massive hail core there on the right side of Stephen's screen. All the white that you see there above the building is the hail core that is moving in his direction. The worst of the storm is just to his south, and we have Cody out there in the field as well, going to his location. The storm is moving east at about 30 miles per hour. Radar indicated tornado warning, as well as a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for winds up to 70 miles per hour and quarter-size hail. Area broad rotation just to the east of the onward Indiana area, just northwest of Bunker Hill. See a little bit of a hook echo here on your screen, but also a little bit of reds and greens starting to hold hands. It's just a little bit, but it is broad at this point in time. Hopefully we don't see that tighten up. If that were to tighten up, it's going to head along West 550 south. Near the Bunker Hill area and areas just to the north and south of Peru. This is a radar indicated tornado warning. This storm is moving east at 30 to 35 miles per hour. So it's a slower moving storm, but also be on the lookout for some hail, up to quarter-size hail and 70 mile per hour winds. This is in north central Indiana for Miami County and Cass County, Indiana. The worst of this storm is moving into Miami County, Indiana. Wabash County, be on deck. The storm is going to start to move into southwestern portions of Wabash County here pretty soon. Very strong winds starting to develop here just on the northwest side of Bunker Hill. If anybody is in Miami County, let me know what your reports are. I'd be curious to know what you guys are seeing there in the Miami County area. Likely going to get in some very strong winds, but also some hail associated with the storm as well. Area of rotation just to the southwest of Peru, northwest of Bunker Hill. You can see a little bit of kind of a back end feature here, but likely some very strong straight line winds in here as well. Winds potentially up to 70 miles per hour associated with this storm as it moves east at about 30 miles per hour. We have a considerable severe thunderstorm warning in effect, as well as a radar indicated tornado warning also in effect here for Miami County, Indiana. Cass County still under these warnings as well. We're likely going to see those trimmed back as these storms are moving into Miami County at this point in time. Slow movers, though, only moving at about 30 miles per hour. They're not moving overly fast. And this is for central and southern Miami County. If you're in Wabash County, heads up, might see a downstream warning here fairly soon as the storm moves in your direction. Coming back down here to the south, I don't want to leave anybody out. This storm not super impressive, but could have some hail, up to quarter-size hail, and perhaps 60-mile-per-hour winds near the Kingman area. Moving near the Waveland, Indiana areas just southwest of Crawfordsville, have a strong thunderstorm there, just at baseline criteria there. Strong thunderstorm near the Rossville area and areas just north near Delphi, currently below severe criteria at that location. Have some other storms that we'll be watching here coming into Whitley County around the Columbia City area and areas south of Warsaw. Also could have some gusty winds associated with them. Right now, the strongest storm is near areas near the Peru, Indiana area and Bunker Hill, State Road 218, as well as areas north of Miami. Between Miami and Peru is the worst of it. Just went through Bunker Hill, having some very strong winds on the just north of Bunker Hill. Looks like they did broaden out just a little bit. The good news is, though we have a radar-indicated tornado warning, the rotation is not overly strong with this at the moment. More of a hail and wind risk right now. It did try to tighten up just a little bit, but this looks more like straight-line winds to me versus tornadic at this point in time. More of a gust front right in here. If I zoom in, you can see the winds on this storm here as I play it out. Those bright green winds here associated with this notch. There's a notch right in here of clear air associated with our brightest colors. So this would tell me it pulled down some fairly strong winds, perhaps up to 70 miles per hour, just to the southwest of Peru along State Road 218 northwest of Bunker Hill. So some strong straight line winds possibly occurred there. Rotation-wise, that prompted the warning was tightest back in here just to the west of Walton, Indiana. Some broad rotation has continued ever since, but straight line winds is going to be the primary hazard here, as well as hail. Radar indicated tornado warning continues for a few more minutes here, but I don't see a lot of significant rotation in the low levels, which is some good news. Hopefully we don't see that re-intensify. But hail up to quarter size and winds perhaps up to 70 miles per hour is the going hazard here with the storm in Miami County. So if you're in southwestern Wabash County, south of 24, heads up, got a strong thunderstorm moving in your direction, a severe thunderstorm moving in your direction. Tornado warning continues, but continues to be trimmed back. A very broad area, perhaps, of rotation. It's really hard to call it rotation at the surface. I really don't see too much. That's a good news. Hopefully we don't have that rotation intensify. This storm could always re-intensify as it heads into southwestern Wabash County. Torrential rainfall and hail also occurring. Hail core, currently the worst of the hail core is just to the northwest of North Grove, east of Bunker Hill. And this will be moving into portions of perhaps southwestern Wabash County. Go ahead and turn on our hail tracker here with this right in here. Yeah, you can see the strongest hail core just southwest of Bunker Hill. Getting ready to run right parallel with 800 South, getting ready across State Road 19. Just northwest of Amboy. Just to the west of Somerset in southern Wabash County. So we may see a severe thunderstorm warning. And there we go. Look at that. Severe thunderstorm warning now for Cass, Grant, Miami, and Wabash counties. Still 645. And you'll see that pop up here on the screen momentarily. That was some good timing, too. And there we go. So this is a baseline severe thunderstorm warning. So there looks like they're going to let the previous considerable severe thunderstorm warnings, or perhaps the tornado warning, expire. And looks like they're going with a downstream severe thunderstorm warning. Looking at our rotation associated with this, perhaps some really broad rotation northwest of Bunker Hill, perhaps right up in here, but I really don't see too much that's definitive at this point in time. Kind of a cell split here. May have a cell splitting off to the north, with the southern cell likely going to remain the strongest cell as it moves to the right towards State Road 13 towards LaFountain. So if you're in northwestern Grant County, also under a severe thunderstorm warning. Marion currently not in a warning yet, but areas just to the north and west are under that severe thunderstorm warning. This is moving off to the east at 30 miles per hour, so still not moving overly fast. Areas back down here to the southwest, still a baseline severe thunderstorm warning continues for 13 more minutes near the Kingman area. Areas just to the east, Wallace, Indiana, could get some heavy rain and some small hail. This storm here really does not look super impressive. A decent hail core just to the, it will be to the east of Kingman now. This is a little bit outdated, but could have some perhaps hail up to quarter size. But I think you're likely going to see closer to nickel size at that location there. Hail core continuing here across northern Indiana, north central Indiana, areas north of Kokomo. This is Miami County, Wabash County, as well as Grant County under a severe thunderstorm warning. And this goes until 6:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. For quarter size hail, 60 mile per hour winds. And this is for Wabash County, Grant County, Cass County, as well as Miami County. Looking at reflectivity here, I don't see a significant amount of rotation anymore, which is good news. Hopefully we don't see that come back once again. Looks like we may have, kind of hard to say if we had maybe a brief land spout near Peru, just southwest of Peru. Kind of hard to tell. Our chaser had some footage there a little bit ago. That's the second time I saw one of those. I was just driving, and all of a sudden it just popped up right in front of me. Kind of inconclusive evidence there, just southwest of Peru. Either way, I don't see a significant amount of rotation there southwest of Peru. Radar indicated tornado warning continues, but we don't have a downstream tornado warning yet. We have a baseline severe thunderstorm warning for 60 mile per hour winds and quarter size hail. Currently, Stephen is trying to get caught back up to the storm here. I'll try to get him on full screen there. You can see him. He is near the Bunker Hill, Indiana area. He is trying to get caught back up here. He's just to the west of the core here. Shouldn't be too difficult to get caught back up here. Just give him a few minutes here as these storms are moving along at about 30 miles per hour. So he should be able to get caught back up here closely, and he'll let us know if there's also any hail still on the ground as well. So he'll be there watching that for us as well. Currently a baseline severe thunderstorm warning downstream of our tornado and considerable severe thunderstorm warning. My guess is they're going to let these expire with the baseline severe thunderstorm warning taking over, which is good news. I don't see a significant amount of rotation, but something to watch is going to be just to the west of Amboy. We saw a cell split, meaning the northern half of the storm split off to the north, with the southern storm remaining the severe storm, and that's going to move off to the right towards Somerset, Amboy, and eventually the Sweetster area, and perhaps northern Grant County, Indiana, near the LaFountain area, as well in southern Wabash County. So the southern cell is the one that split off, and it's moving to the right. If I back it up here, you can see that, how it was one cell back in here, and then here the split starts to occur, and you can see that northern cell start to trek off towards the Wabash area, with the southern cell taking over. There's a little bit of a hook on it on radar as well, maybe some broad rotation just to the west of the Amboy area. Have to keep an eye on that. Nothing that screams tornadic at this point in time, just an area to watch. I'd be more concerned with hail and damaging winds right now. Hail up to quarter size as well as winds up to 60 miles per hour. The storm is moving off to the east at about 30 miles per hour. The storm is currently going to be near the Somerset area here pretty soon. Here in about 15 minutes or so, the core will be over Somerset. These storms are not moving overly fast, only about 30 miles per hour are all the faster these storms are moving. Steven has a nice view of the base here as he's near the Bunker Hill area. He's right behind this storm here. See lots of scud kind of rising up there underneath the base. A lot of moisture today associated with the storm. He's currently going to be moving here behind these storms. He may be on the northern storm that split off to the north. I can ask him here here behind the scenes which storm he is currently on. So Steven's currently on the northern part of the storm, the one that split off, that appears to be below severe criteria. We're going to focus on the southern storm, as that's the storm that is most concerning on radar in terms of severe weather. So we'll go ahead and take our radar back up full here. So perhaps a little bit of broad rotation near the Amboy area, as well as hail and potentially winds up to 60 miles per hour. This severe thunderstorm warning continues for 21 more minutes here.
Caleb, just so you know, I'm heading back north toward like Naphany area. See if anything could fire in that UMP.
Have some chasers repositioning here behind the scenes. Also, coming back down south here near Waveland, Indiana, have an area of rotation starting to develop here north of Marshall, Indiana. We actually have a spotter report of a wall cloud down here just north of Marshall, north of 47. We're going to keep an eye on this storm here as velocity is there. We have a tornado possible tag now with this severe thunderstorm warning, as well as 60 mile per hour winds and quarter size hail. Area of rotation with this storm is going to be just north of 47, north of Marshall, moving east-southeast towards Waveland, Indiana. If you're in Waveland, interior room, away from windows until this storm has passed. There's a decent couplet just north of 47, south of 234, southwest of Alamo, just north of Marshall, sitting right in here. You can actually see a nice hook on radar here with an area of rotation sitting right in here. And it may try to occlude on itself as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. If you're in the Waveland, Indiana area, I would go ahead and get to your safe place, interior room, away from windows until this storm has passed. Decent area of rotation just off to your west. Looks like it may have broadened out just a little bit there, which is some good news there. Hopefully we don't see that re-intensify. Our tornado warning in Miami County is possibly going to expire. With a baseline severe thunderstorm warning continuing, which is some good news there. Coming back up here to the north where we do have a tornado warning. This tornado warning does expire in 4 minutes, and they've actually already put the text in here saying it will expire. The storm which prompted the warning has weakened below severe limits and no longer appears capable of producing a tornado. Therefore, the warning will be allowed to expire, and I would concur with that. I really don't see any rotation within the tornado warning itself. There is a kind of a broad area near the North Grove area, a little bit of a boundary here as well that we're going to have to keep an eye on near the Amboy area. But other than that, damaging winds and hail appears to be the primary hazards as the storm moves into southern Wabash County and northwestern Grant County, coming up to State Road 13. Could have some hail as well as winds up to 30 miles per hour. We do have other showers and thunderstorms developing here across the state of Indiana. We have a couple of showers, a couple scattered showers near the Marshall County, Indiana, and then Whitley County. Also have a few scattered showers. Closest severe thunderstorm warning up in here would be Berrien County, Michigan. Have a severe thunderstorm warning up there as well. Severe thunderstorm watch also in effect through this evening here across much of Indiana. Also watching this storm down in here near the Waveland area, Wallace and Marshall in southwest Indiana. Tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. This is moving east-southeast at 30 miles per hour. Remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once into a basement or a small central room of a sturdy structure. There is some rotation associated with this storm, just below meeting tornado warning criteria, but we are going to have to keep an eye on that. Coming back up here to northern Indiana, or central Indiana, watching the storm coming into the Somerset, Indiana area. The good news is our tornado warning is getting ready to expire, and actually it'll probably just disappear off your screen here. Our considerable severe thunderstorm warning will be expiring here as well. So we're going to be left with a baseline severe thunderstorm warning. Actually, two baseline severe thunderstorm warnings here momentarily. 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. So that's some good news there. Our southern severe thunderstorm warning is actually of more concern at the moment. It does have a tornado possible tag and an area of rotation just to the west of Waveland. You can see a nice hook echo here on radar area of rotation sitting right in here just north of State Road 47. Currently running along County Road 950 North. This would be just south of Wallace, northwest of Waveland, north of Marshall, moving east at about 30 miles per hour. Some broad rotation associated with that storm. Holds together, it'll be near the New Market, Indiana area. And this would be south of I-74 in southwest Indiana. This severe thunderstorm warning is getting close to the Ladoja area. This would be for southeastern Fountain County, northeastern Park County, southwestern Montgomery County, as well as northwestern Putnam County in west central Indiana until 7 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. Could also be some cold air funnels, perhaps, with some of these thunderstorms as well. Have a really moist environment. So we could have a few cold air funnels across the state of Indiana as well on some other towering cumulonimbus clouds across the state as well. So do keep that in mind. Watching perhaps maybe a little bit of broad rotation near the Amboy area. Really hard to call that rotation at this point in time. Main hazards here for southern Wabash County, northwestern Grant County. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is moving off to the east at about 30 miles per hour. Areas off here to the south and southwest. Broad area of rotation. This tornado or severe thunderstorm warning has a tornado possible tag in it. The broad area of rotation moving towards the Waveland, Indiana area.
A new tornado
and actually,
warning
we
has
have
been
a
issued.
Tornado warning coming in now for this storm. I believe it would be for this storm. Montgomery and Park and Putnam County. And there we go. This is a radar indicated tornado warning now for the Waveland area. Does not include Rochdale or Ladoja. It is close to these areas, though. Currently moving off to the east at about 30 miles per hour. This is radar indicated rotation in the southeast Indiana area, south of Crawfordsville, Indiana. It is for the cell near Marshall, Indiana, moving into the Waveland area. Interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. This is a radar indicated tornado warning. And this tornado warning is in effect until 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So 28 more minutes here. The storm is moving off to the east-southeast at about 30 miles per hour, so it is moving very soon. But Ladoga currently not included in that tornado warning. It is areas just to the south and southwest of Ladoga. Coming up here to northern Indiana, still watching our severe thunderstorm near the Amboy, Indiana area, coming into the LaFountain, Indiana area. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds associated with that. Perhaps maybe a little bit of broad rotation there on the backside, but more of a wind and hail risk associated with that at this point in time. Also, have to watch some sub-severe thunderstorms near the Plymouth, Indiana area, Marshall County, Kosciuszko County, Whitley County. Have to watch these areas as well. Currently, those storms are below severe criteria. Our strongest storm currently in the Marshall, Indiana area near Waveland. We have a tornado warning, radar indicated tornado warning. We have reports of some rotating wall clouds associated with this storm moving off to the east and southeast at 30 miles per hour. Area of rotation just north of 47. Going to come pretty close to the Waveland area at this time. I don't see any evidence of a tornado on the ground at this point in time, but there is some low-level rotation associated with our thunderstorm there. This is for Montgomery County, Indiana, as well as northwestern Putnam County and west central Indiana. Currently, the rotation is in Montgomery County, Indiana, and southeast Montgomery County, Indiana, north of 47, moving towards the Waveland, Indiana area, and it may come in to the Putnam County as well. Area of rotation sitting just to the west of the Waveland, north of State Road 47, and this will be moving east at about east-southeast at 30 miles per hour. See a lot of questions in chat about specific locations. If we're not talking about your location, you're probably okay at this point in time, especially with scattered storms at this current time. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for southern Miami or southeastern Miami County, northwestern Grant County, southern Wabash County for 10 more minutes. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. And maybe even a little bit of broad rotation there just to the north of Amboy. We'll have to keep an eye on that on the southern portion of this storm. Coming back up here to the north, Whitley County getting a heavy downpour in the Columbia City area, currently subsevere at this point in time. Tornado warning near the Waveland, Indiana areas, including Montgomery County, Putnam County. And this is in effect here until 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And this is for Park, Montgomery, and Putnam County in west central Indiana. Radar indicated rotation at this point in time. Area rotation right in here, just to the west of Waveland. It's going to be coming up on County Line and then getting ready to come pretty close to State Road 47 near Waveland. Looks like South 800 West, South 750 West, as well as State Road 47 in southwest Indiana. This is south of Crawfordsville, Indiana, south and southwest of I-74. Across southwest Indiana, have a radar indicated tornado warning. At this point in time, the good news is I don't see any indication of a tornado on the ground. If we turn on our debris tracker here, just take a look at that. Yeah, just rain currently associated with that. Maybe some hail spatter up in here on the northern half. That's pretty normal there for some quarter-size hail. But the good news is our debris tracker is not showing anything. So some rotation just to the west of the Waveland area. Tornado could touch down at any moment, so we do have to be on the lookout for that. Main hazards today are going to be hail, damaging winds, with the possibility of a brief tornado or two cannot be ruled out with the environment that we have here today. New severe thunderstorm warning just got issued for Wabash County, Grant County, and southwestern Huntington County. 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. There is also perhaps even a little bit of some broad rotation here on the southwest side. A little bit of maybe even a little bit of an LP hook there. Kind of an interesting feature there. Nothing that signifies anything too significant at this point in time. Hopefully it doesn't intensify. But main hazard here with this storm is going to be hail as well as some quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Going to be coming into the LaFountain area, impacting Somerset right now. I have a chaser talking behind the scenes. I'm going to ask him to repeat what he said. Can you repeat that, Nick? I couldn't make out what you said.
Yeah, I don't think this is I think this is running out of moisture. The wall cloud coming back, gets ready. Coming back, gets ready.
He was just giving me some storm information here behind the scenes. Coming back south here towards the Waveland area, nice pocket of pretty intense winds here just to the west of Waveland, Indiana. Radar indicated tornado warning is still in effect here. Broad rotation just to the west of Waveland, Indiana. But some nice intense straight line winds here. In fact, if we back it up here, you can see that rotation really start to come together right about here at about 6:23 p.m. You see a nice hook echo there on the left side of your screen, northwest of Marshall, right when the tornado warning got issued. Broadened out a little bit, tried to hold hands once again at 6:33, and still some broad rotation just west of Waveland with perhaps some strong winds developing near State Road 47 as well, coming near the Waveland area. So either way, some broad rotation associated with this could perhaps be strong enough to support a brief tornado, as well as some strong straight line winds, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and quarter-size hail outside of our tornado warning. That'll be near the New Market, Indiana area and southwest Indiana. This would be for Park County, Montgomery County, and Putnam counties until 7 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. This is radar indicated rotation. You see a nice hook on radar here near the Waveland area is where the rotation is currently moving, getting ready to probably cross State Road 47 as it heads off to the east at about 30 miles per hour. Waiting on the next velocity scan here. There it is. So broad rotation to the north of Waveland, more lying straight line winds associated with this on the southwest side of town. I see more of a wind risk right now at the moment. You can see the southern flank really start to bow out a little bit, and that correlates really well with the strong velocities that we're seeing. So it looks like it could be cycling right now with some RFD or rear flank downdraft. That's rain cold air getting wrapped down and getting pulled down to the ground in the form of straight line winds. So likely going to get some pretty strong winds in the Waveland area in the form of straight line winds, but do remain alert for a possible tornado. There is some rotation associated with this just to the north of Waveland, currently near State Road 47 and looks like Cross Street there in Waveland, or State Road 59. Right at the 59-47 interchange there on the north side of Waveland. Coming back up here to the north to our other severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Wabash County, northern Grant County, as well as southwestern Huntington County in northern Indiana. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Strongest portion of the hail core is near the Somerset area. The good news is with this storm is that there are just a lot of other showers and storms kind of developing out ahead of this thing, and it's really looking kind of messy right in here. So hopefully that limits the overall severity on the grand scheme of things. And but still, hail is a possibility here with these storms in this area. So we'll have to keep an eye on these cells there. Coming back south, though, we do have a radar indicated tornado warning we want to keep an eye on here. Likely some pretty strong winds moving into the Waveland area. This is southwest of New Market. New Market currently not in a tornado warning, but you are in a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail, and as well as a tornado warning for the Waveland, Indiana area. Perhaps some broad rotation just to the north of town. Sorry for the radar silence there. Looking at some updates here behind the scenes here. Still some broad rotation with this, but it's more straight line winds at this point in time on radar. A nice gust front coming through the Waveland, Indiana area. The rotation has broadened out, which is good news. Still a little bit of broad rotation there, but it's more straight line winds at this point in time. Just moved through Waveland and going to be coming near the Russellville, Indiana area. See, nice kind of a bowed out feature here, but look at your bright colors here. Notice how the reds and greens aren't really holding hands. They're separated. This is more or less just a gust front right now, but do remain alert. It could tighten up once again, but for right now, it looks like some straight line winds moving into the Waveland, Indiana area that we'll have to keep an eye on there. If anybody's watching from Waveland, let me know what you're seeing right about now. Probably getting in on some gusty winds. Coming back up here to the north, we have a severe thunderstorm warning in northern Grant County and Wabash County, southwestern Huntington County, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Also some heavy rain showers and storms moving into the Wells County, Indiana area, currently subsevere at that location right now. But the good news is the storms up here appear to be weakening just a little bit. They're just kind of becoming messy. Small hail risk, torrential rainfall risk up here from Wells County, Huntington, Wabash County, as well as some small hail. Back down here to our tornado warning. Not a significant area of rotation, more straight line winds at this point coming into the Russellville area. There is maybe some broad rotation on the north side, but right now it looks to be more straight line winds along an outflow boundary from stretching just east of Waveland near Russellville, Indiana. This is moving southeast at about 30 miles per hour. Penny-sized hail is also a possibility here within this storm. But right now, more gusty winds at this point in time as quarter-size hail. We'll have to keep an eye. Area broad rotation, perhaps just between 1050 south and County Road 475 west. But I don't see anything super significant at this point in time for an imminent tornado. Radar tornado warning does continue, though, so it could re-intensify. Hopefully we don't see that. But for right now, straight line winds appears to be the primary hazard here with that. Coming back up here to northern Indiana. heavy showers and even a few thunderstorms in the area. This cell coming into the LaFountain, Indiana area appears to be weakening as well. And that was kind of my theory with a lot of rain out ahead of this thing. And we could have just some excessive ponding in this area as well that we're going to have to keep an outlook for. So radar indicated tornado warning does continue. Still some broad area of rotation here. Hopefully we don't see it try to retighten up here near the Waveland, Indiana area. At least some gusty winds, though, occurring with this storm, as well as quarter-size hail. Waiting on the next rotation scan to come in for our velocity. I'm at 644, and the radar screen here is at 647. So waiting on the next scan to come in here, but the radar indicated tornado warning does continue until 7 p.m. Okay, there's the latest scan. I don't see much rotation here, which is good news. More or less just some gusty winds, still maybe some broad rotation, but it's hard to really call it broad rotation. There's just really not a lot going on there, which is some good news. I don't see a lot in the way of rotation here. If I back it up here, whoops, you can see that rotation was actually a little bit stronger right in here, way back here near the Marshall, Indiana area. And some of this could be just some distortion as well. It could be some clear air right in here at this location as well. Moving back off to the east here, more or less just a gusty winds. And actually, you can see the outflow boundary develop right in here. You can see this kind of a tail develop here, and you can see it here just northwest of Marshall. And that gusty winds continues moving off to the south, and you can kind of see it continue here with an outflow boundary now out ahead of the main area of rotation where the rotation was, which is some good news. Hopefully we don't see that rotation increase. They did trim back the warning, but they are leaving the rotation or the indicated tornado warning in place, as the radar indicated. Maybe a little bit of broad rotation just to the east, northeast of Russellville, but really ill-defined at this point in time. So good news in that area. Coming back up here to the north, just a bunch of heavy rain at this point in time. Could have some small hail embedded in here. A lot of lightning associated with these storms. But I don't see really any rotation associated with this. Not a lot of strong winds either. Turning on our updrafts with this. Whoops. Not a lot of significant updrafts associated with that. As we take this back, you can see the updraft was a lot stronger back in here in Miami County with our supercell. And as it moves, all of this rain has just really developed out ahead of it in the Wells County area, Huntington, even Blackford County getting into some heavy thunderstorms there. And that's really just kind of choking off all the instability that this storm once had, and it just doesn't have it anymore. So small hail, I think the severe weather risk is lower near term right in here, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. Near term could have some hail and some gusty winds there. Another storm, a couple storms to watch in southern Illinois near Charleston and Paris. Could have some small hailstones associated with that. The good news is, even here, our hail core has weakened quite a bit as well. A lot stronger near the Kingman, Indiana area, and just north of Waveland. You can see that rotation, or not rotation, but that updraft is weakened, and this storm is more ill-defined at this point in time. So that is some good news there as well. Going back to our relative velocity, waiting on the next scan here, and there it is. There is, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't see any rotation within this storm anymore, which is some good news. Some gusty winds on the southern side, but this storm is weakening as well. If these storms continue to weaken quite a bit, we may hop off and monitor things here behind the scenes. But we'll continue to stay on here for a little bit longer yet to make sure that these storms stay sub-severe near term as well.
than there was before to see there. So.
But the risk for a strong to severe thunderstorm will continue near term. Our radar indicated tornado warning is likely going to be canceled or expired here. I just don't see any rotation at all in this storm anymore as it comes near the Rochdale area. That's good news. We had some rotation near Waveland, but it has broadened out quite a bit. So that is some good news here. We're probably going to see that hopefully just be canceled altogether and not reissued. We are getting close to the edge of the warning box here, so it'll be interesting to see if we're going to see a warning or if we're going to see a statement on this storm as well. Looking at our updrafts to really get an idea what our hail is doing, it looks sub-severe in terms of hail right now as well. So that is some good news on that end as well. So this storm here is just a lot weaker than what it once was. Back in here, you can see a really nice hook echo back in here, had some broad rotation with it. The more I look at this return right here, the more I want to say this is clear air. This is broad rotation right in here, and this is just clutter. This is just clear air. It's in open air right in here, and there we go. Our tornado warning has been canceled. That is some good news. We are left with a severe thunderstorm warning. And our severe thunderstorm warning for Wabash County, Grant County, and southwestern Huntington County, wouldn't be surprised to see that perhaps canceled a little bit early as well, as the storm looks to be below severe criteria. Turning on our updrafts here associated with this storm as well. Yeah, this hail is like pea-size hail right now. It is well below severe criteria. So the good news is right now storms do not look that impressive here across the state. Hopefully we see that trend continue. But we have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings at the moment. This tornado warning has expired. It'll pop off your screen here in a few minutes. They have canceled that tornado warning, and they also have not reissued a severe thunderstorm warning yet, which tells me that storm may not get an additional severe thunderstorm warning. But if these storms continue looking really weak and really scattered, we may actually be good to hop off a little bit early here and monitor things here behind the scenes. But we will just have to see. We'll continue to watch trends here over the next couple of minutes here. The risk for a scattered and potentially severe thunderstorm or 2 will continue throughout the evening here. The risk is not 0 across the state of Indiana. We have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for several more hours here through the evening hours across Indiana as our cold front moves through the region. Heavy rain is also a possibility here today in any thunderstorm. So do watch out for any hydroplaning, any ponding out there on the area roadways as well. But the good news is our tornado warning has expired, and it looks like a special weather statement is coming in down here. So some good news there. Torrential rainfall is occurring here in these storms here in the Wells, Huntington, Wabash County areas, as well as Howard County. Do watch out for some maybe some localized hydrologic impacts in this area here. Could have some torrential downpours occurring there. Also have a couple different storms that we're keeping an eye on in the southern Illinois, currently sub-severe at this point in time. Not sure. I guess they're going to wait to take the box off for 3 more minutes, but the tornado warning is not in effect anymore. And looks like this storm here is below severe criteria as well. And there we go. Special weather statement for 50 miles per hour. So well below severe criteria. And this storm here also appears to be below severe criteria as well. So we may go severe free here momentarily for the first time here in a little bit, which is good news. If that happens, we'll probably hop off here and we'll watch conditions here behind the scenes. But we'll come live again if we need to. If storms warrant a live, we will come back on here and go live. We'll also likely be live tomorrow as well, covering a larger, more widespread severe weather event across Indiana. That's what we call a high ceiling event, but there are still some uncertainties tomorrow which need to be ironed out by tomorrow afternoon. For example, we could have some morning rain moving through Indiana tomorrow morning. That morning rain will likely play a role in how far north our warm front advex northward and how evening storms look tomorrow afternoon. So still some timing and location uncertainties in regards to the severity of tomorrow's event. But stay tuned. We'll continue to post updates and forecast revisions on the page as data becomes available with that. Tornado warning to our neighbors to the north near Dowagiac and Cassopolis, Michigan, northeast of Niles, Michigan, north of US 12. Have a tornado warning up there, severe for the Paw Paw, Kalamazoo area as well. But here in Indiana, things are looking below severe criteria at the moment, which is good news. Tornado warning, these 2 warnings have expired. They're going to disappear. Special weather statement taking their place. This one here is likely going to expire as well. I don't really see a reason why that would be extended. Just mainly heavy rain in through here. If we look at our updrafts here associated with this, really just not a lot going on. Maybe some pea-sized hail along 218 near Lynn Grove, Indiana, kind of on the Adams-Wells County line, and maybe some pea-sized hail south of 218, southeast of LaFountain near State Road 9, coming to Van Buren. So, not too impressive at the moment. Mainly just some heavy rainmakers at the moment. Have to watch these cells across northern Indiana and these cells developing across southwest Indiana as well. Looking back on this cell here, yeah, it looks well below severe criteria. I don't really see much in there, wind or rotation-wise, which is good news. This one here we'll need to watch near Charleston, Illinois. Getting some rotation on it there on the backside. That may get a tornado warning on it. We'll have to see on that. See a nice couplet there outside of Mattoon, Illinois. Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised there's not a warning on that, whether it's a severe thunderstorm, tor possible, or a possible tornado warning on it. That's not in Indiana. That is currently in Illinois. But that's actually fairly tight. That could probably use a tornado warning, perhaps. Can't rule out the possibility of a brief spin-up tornado today in Indiana. Primary hazards, though, are going to be heavy rain, lightning, some hail, as well as gusty winds. But we can't rule out the probability of a spin-up tornado or two. So not a lot going on. There's the warning that just got expired. So we are actually severe free in Indiana for the first time for a while. There are no active severe thunderstorm warnings in the state of Indiana. One special weather statement is all we have for 50-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail, and I don't see a lot of wind associated with this either. Looking back on here to our south and west, have to watch a couple of these storms. The one near Chesterton has some broad rotation. It was stronger. That has weakened a little bit, which is some good news associated with that. We do have some weather cameras here in the state of Indiana. Not seeing a whole lot on those at the moment, which is some good news. We'll stay on here for a few more minutes here, but if these storms remain sub-severe over the next few minutes, we'll probably hop off and then monitor scenes here behind the scenes. And if we need to come back live, we will come back live and cover that if we need to. So good news here across the board. But not seeing a whole lot here. Look up here from north to south, mainly just some heavy rain, quite a bit of lightning in these storms here. But really sub-severe, maybe some pea-sized hail, that's about it. Even really below special weather statement criteria. We have a tornado warning up here near the Dowagiac area, just north of the Indiana-Michigan state line, north of Elkhart County. But that is moving away from Indiana. Have a couple of heavy thunderstorms in the St. Joseph, Elkhart County area. Sub-severe at this time. Auburn, Indiana, sub-severe. Coming back down here to our special weather statement, really don't see a whole lot in this either. Maybe some low-level convergence here south of Rochdale, but that could be clear air. Nothing really too concerning there at the moment. Looking to our south and west, have a couple different storms near the Charleston and Terre Haute, Indiana area. And it looks like, so Paducah has a radar outage again. They've been troubleshooting here over the last week or so of having comm issues, if that's what it still is or not. Hopefully they get that resolved there. Still a little bit of a hook on radar near the Rochdale area. Could be some low-level rotation there, but nothing that really screams anything tornadic at this point in time. More or less just some eye candy there at the moment. Looking back up here to the north, not really anything too significant at this point in time, which is some good news. But looking across the region here, not really anything too significant. There is severe thunderstorm watch that does remain in effect for a while. We'll see on here for a couple more minutes. If you guys had any hail reports here today, I'd be happy to know what size hail you guys saw today in some of these storms here across Indiana. We had some severe thunderstorm warnings for hail up to ping pong ball sized hail in western Indiana earlier here this afternoon. I'd be curious to know if anybody has any reports of that verifying or not. If you have any hail reports from today, feel free to send them in to us. Love to see your reports of what you saw today. If you have any storm damage, also let us know about that as well. And before we get too carried away with ourselves or another severe thunderstorm warning pops in, I'm going to give a shout out to our sponsor here for making our severe weather coverage possible today and also possible tomorrow. Rutgers Outdoor Services based in the Indianapolis area, 317-665-3969. If you have any trees that you think could become problematic before the next storm hits, give them a call. They can get those taken care of for you before the next storm hits. That is Rutgers Outdoor Services, 317-665-3969. Currently, we have no severe thunderstorm warnings in the state of Indiana. We have one special weather statement to the west of Indianapolis for winds up to 50 miles per hour, but currently no severe thunderstorm warning. Best said pea-sized hail in LaFountain. That lines up pretty well. Have another little storm that just popped up coming into Miami County. Subsevere at this point in time. Looking up here at our northern cells, not really seeing a whole lot there. Go ahead and turn on our hail tracker, our updrafts here. Maybe some pea-sized hail with that. Maybe some pea-sized hail there in LaFountain. Is that occurring right now, Beth? The pea-sized hail associated with that would match up pretty well on radar there. Coming back down here to the south, yeah, again, maybe just some pea-sized hail and winds up to 50 miles per hour with that. Special weather statement is for P and 50 with that as well. Not super impressive with these hail cores back here either. Coming back up here to northern Indiana. Maybe a little bit of rotation here near the Van Buren, Indiana area. Have to keep an eye on that. Broad at this point in time. Could also be some clutter there, but something that caught my eye. Nothing that really is too impressive, but something to watch. But overall, pretty quiet here across the state of Indiana at the moment. New severe thunderstorm warning just popped up. 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail, as well as a tornado possible. So it does have a hook on it. There could be some low-level rotation here. I was thinking this was clutter, but IWX may think, or IND may think they have some rotation in there. Definitely has a hook echo on radar. So I have to keep an eye on that as it moves south at about 30 miles per hour. Tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds, as well as a tornado possible associated with that. A lot of low-level spin out there today and some 3K. Kind of a cheat code day across Indiana. I don't expect any strong tornadoes today, but a brief spin up or two cannot be ruled out. Get some of that spin to stretch a little bit. We call that vorticity stretching. It could produce a brief spin up tornado or two. But no tornado warnings currently, just a radar or severe thunderstorm warning at the current time. Tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds with this severe thunderstorm warning. Have to make sure that does not get upgraded. Also watching a little bit of rotation near Van Buren, Indiana. I'll try to get that pulled up here on radar for you. But this severe thunderstorm warning that's pictured now is for currently 60-mile-per-hour winds, tornado possible, as well as penny-sized hail. some of this, to me, it just looks really kind of distorted, a little bit like clutter. But we do have that hook echo on it, so there could be some low-level spin that um, is present there. Also, near the Van Buren area, maybe a little bit of a couplet here in northeastern Grant County. Have to keep an eye on that. Maybe some gusty winds near State Road 218 and 1 near the Nottingham area, and then maybe a little bit of some gusty winds near the Bluffton, Indiana area. Have a shelf cloud report coming in from the Bluffton, Indiana area. So could have some gusty winds associated with that. Currently, one severe thunderstorm warning in the state of Indiana at this point in time. Also watching another cell coming in near Terre Haute as well. Subsevere at this point in time, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. New severe thunderstorm warning up to state line, though, for a cell near the Charleston, Indiana area. Ping pong ball size hail with that cell there near Charleston. Illinois had a few ping pong ball warnings here today. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as it moves in towards the Terre Haute, Indiana area. Assuming it holds together, we'll have to see if it makes it there. These storms aren't moving very fast, only about 30 miles per hour. So we'll have to see if it indeed holds together or not. As it moves in that direction. A little bit of rotation, perhaps near the Van Buren area. Kind of a little bit of a couplet there, perhaps. New special weather statement coming in for Park, Vigo, and Clay County. Winds up to 50 miles per hour there. That'll pop up on your screen right in here. That'll be for this storm here. Special weather statement. There it is. Penny-sized hail, winds up to 50 miles per hour. Largely subsevere. So some good news there. Watching this cell here, it does have a tornado possible tag on it. A little bit of a hook here, but I don't really see a lot of rotation here associated with this storm. 60 mile per hour winds, penny-sized hail, primary hazard here. We'll just have to keep an eye on that one. Going back up here to the north, all of these storms are subsevere at the moment. Watching a little bit of a couplet there near Van Buren, perhaps. Have to keep an eye on that. Just heavy rain in the Bluffton, Indiana area, as well as the Pennville, Indiana area, Nottingham, into the Bern and Adams County area as well. Have to watch these storms up here near the Ligonier, Elkhart area. Currently subsevere at this point in time, which is some good news there. There is quite a bit of lightning, though, in our thunderstorms here across the state today. That we will have to keep an eye on. Storm motions today are not moving very fast at all, only moving at about 30 miles per hour. You can see storms originally fired back here near Lafayette. You can see they're slowly working their way east here across the state. A few storms firing behind the original storms as well. We'll have to keep an eye on those as they continue moving. Our highest current alert is a severe thunderstorm warning, 60 mile per hour winds as well as penny-sized hail. Winds is the primary hazard here with this storm, although I don't see a significant amount of winds. It does have a tornado possible tag on it. A little bit of a hook, but I really don't see much rotation on this storm at the moment. Hopefully that continues and we don't see any rotation strengthen or develop with that. Just to the west of Terre Haute, we have a warning for ping pong ball size hail, as well as 60 mile per hour winds. Let's go ahead and turn on our updraft here just to look at that. I'm actually surprised this weren't for ping pong ball size hail. Let's see if it was stronger back in here. a little bit. I really don't see ping pong ball size hail in that updraft strength. Definitely some quarters falling. Interesting there. Once our tornado possible warning expires, probably hop off here and we'll watch radar here behind the scenes. Most of these storms are sub-severe at this point in time, which is some good news here. If anything does come on that is significant, we will continue to monitor that here behind the scenes, such as a tornado warning or something like that, or a considerable warning. But for right now, these storms are baseline in nature, quarter-size hail, and winds up to 60 miles per hour. Scattered, the risk for severe weather today is lower than what it is trending to be tomorrow. Today, scattered strong to severe storms are possible the remainder of the evening. Hail, damaging winds are the primary threat. Can't rule out a brief spin-up tornado, but the primary risk is going to be heavy rain, lightning, as well as some strong to locally damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. Can't rule out some hail up to quarter size, maybe a little bit larger in some cases. We had some a couple warnings for a $1.25 half-dollar size hail, and even a warning for ping pong ball size hail. We'll have to see how that played out there. We had a couple hail reports up to half-dollar size. That is near the Flora, Indiana area, and Delphi, Indiana area earlier this afternoon. So half-dollar size hail earlier today. So a few larger hail reports can't be ruled out. But the good news is a lot of these storms are sub-severe at the moment. Going back to our severe thunderstorm warning, not seeing a whole lot here. It does have a hook echo on it, but I don't see a lot of rotation associated with it at this moment. We'll stay on here. We'll watch that until that expires here. But if that looks to continue below, really, it's not super impressive on radar. I don't see quarter-size hail, which they have it at penny-size hail. But I don't see a lot of wind associated with it either. If I use the airport radar here, it's not seeing a whole lot in the way of wind with that warning. With that looking to be closer to near severe criteria or just under severe criteria, we're going to go ahead and hop off here and we'll watch things here behind the scenes. If a storm does go tornado warned, once again, we will come back on here and we will cover that. But for right now, it looks to be below severe criteria for the majority of the state, with a couple of storms near baseline severe criteria. So good news there. But for right now, we are probably going to hop off and we will come back on here later if need be to keep you covered here this evening here in Indiana. And we have another potential big day coming tomorrow.